It is time to insert my perfectly legitimate the Legend of Dragoon Disc 4 into my perfectly legitimate PlayStation. I didn't prepare for this. Hopefully that doesn't like reveal anything. No, that's okay. So I'm gonna do that. Here's me pairing discs. So no, not sure what the heck that was. It's all right. It's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. Yep. Just so I'm Randy, by the way, in case you didn't know. I'm gonna insert disc 4. Click. Stuff happened last time. This is the Legend of Dragoon, and all right. As you can tell, I have done it. It's loading and spinning up. I can hear it. Beginning to question if I did it properly. It does not appear. Aha! Ooh, ha. Hey, Spartan. We did it. Here we are. Home stretch now. Chapter 4. There's... Oh, yeah. What is that, like 15 hours per chapter? Give or take? Really short, snappy chapters. Man, a lot of stuff happened last time. Exposition dump. We all seem to be kind of okay with it in the grand scheme of things. And I don't think we have a very clear objective. The at work too. Thank you. You did it, man. Mir says, I'm totally beaten. Albert says, we came all this way and we cannot go back. Hazel says, yes, we did. As in, we came all this way? Is that what you were responding to? Kongol says, no need to return. The city of Winglies, Rose said, is just over there. 2 did it, man. Have I said that before? I have to have said that before. If I didn't, I'm a bad person. Hazel says, what was it called? Ulara? I hope we can find out what we should do there. That's me too. Me too. Mir says, I hope so too. Man, anyone that's not You Did It Man or anyone that was there when that happened is really confused why I always hold up 2 fingers when you're around. Yes, enter me. Alright, so like Stardusts are back in play. Oh, hello. Nope. I guess I could have saved it. It doesn't really matter. Thor says, who could imagine there is such a place under the ground of the desert? Albert says it must be a cavity created when the water dried up. Albert says the world is going on without knowing anything. Albert says without knowing until the end. I wonder if this little world has experienced an end like that. Thor says it is not determined yet that our world will end. I mean, it's looking pretty bleak. I mean, that's true. Yeah, let's be optimistic about it. Albert says, we are still here. Should be 49. 45. Uh-oh. I don't think that's true. I think 49 is, I think it should be at 45. Unless I don't know where else there would be. 46. Giggling. Well, is that 46 or a 5? That's a 6. Well, I'm at 45. So do with that with what you will. Skink. I don't know why I'm saving it. I'm not going to save it. Who cares? It clearly wants me to go that way, though. Because that's... Once I came out here, Albert came out of me. Yep. Can I go into there? Oh, okay. It's just a cool little effect. Neat. There's nothing here. Can't do a darn thing. Nothing. As far as I can tell, I'm not even getting random battles, which is pretty awesome. I could do with a break from those. Ah, there's something in my eye. Alright, well now I definitely... Well, Alright, hold on, let's... Stuff went down in that room, so maybe I will save it. How come I can't get those chests then? I don't want to go down that way until I get those chests. I was going to come here and complain about how cold it's been, but then I'm like, you know, every time I complain about how cold it is, it dates these videos, and of course these videos must be timeless. Someone needs to watch this video in 2037 and be like, this is perfectly appropriate for the times for me to be watching this. This game from the year 2000, from 37 years ago. Yeah, maybe I use this to launch up. No, sir. There's nothing. Absolutely not. Alright, well, if I'm supposed to be at 46 and I'm at 45, hopefully I didn't miss one that is forever gone. Did I save it? Tim, it's not fair. You're used to it. I'm used to people complaining about the cold who live in warmer climates than I do. So I have a right to complain. That's where I'm gonna... Is this like... Is this... Yeah, I kind of figured that was gonna happen. Vedoveb Stardust. Didn't I just save it, though? Oh, no, yeah, I'm pretty much boned. I saved over top of it. Alright, well, that was a fun experiment we had there. There's absolutely no way I'm going back. I did save in another slot, but wasn't that ages ago? That was like far too long ago. Why would there be a freaking Stardust in Vedoveb? It is definitely Disc 3. However, it may have been a long time ago in Disc 3. Let's look at the play times here. It is 3 hours and 2 Stardusts prior to... No, it's not happening. Oh well. I could let that get to me, I won't. So just... Oh, okay, so that's just a fight. Yes, perhaps my legitimate PlayStation. We tried. I think it sucks that they would put that right at the end of a disc in a spot you cannot go back to. That is outrageous. What? That felt good. Spinning cane. Yeah, maybe if I was, I don't know, unlimited years younger, I would go back and do it. No! What is going on? No, it's no... I mean... I'm gonna blame the game for that one. That sucks. That is a level of terrible that I would not expect even by this game. That's impressive. Because prior to that, Vedoveb was a dungeon, right? Or was it not? It was essentially a dungeon. There were fights, right? Ah! What am I missing out on if I Oh, well, I guess that explains that. What do I not get by not getting all of them? Also, I should look at my additions real quick, because... Okay, we got a while for Moonstrike. Got a while. Got a while, okay. Wow, I miss out on a boss because this game sucks? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that is really bad. That is impressively bad. Yeah, we did 3 hours is a long time. That's like 2 streams pretty much. And I don't even I don't remember when I decided to do that. When did I make that second save? It was before I went back and got those other Stardusts, which took a long time. No! I want to land on the spot with this thing. Alright, I'm going to try to not let that get to me, but it's going to get to me, so prepare for that. You know, we were still figuring things out in the early 2000s, late 90s. Maybe we wouldn't do something that stupid today. I have to imagine we wouldn't. I'm not quite understanding what leads me to... Is it the screen I'm on when I go in there and it determines where I fall? Yes, I think that's accurate. There's one more chest down here, right? I'm also fairly certain, I didn't want to say this because not definitively sure, but I don't think they've ever had a Stardust in a spot with enemies until that one. And the only reason I'm bothered by it is that we spent so much time looking for those freaking Stardusts that now it's just, oh, well, alright. I guess just in the span of one stream, it's all over. That was a fun experiment that we did. That sucks. Oh. You suck. Is at the altar in Shirley's temple. I don't even remember where that is. We just did it. I don't remember. 100% sure escape from minor enemy. Repeat, so I'll keep that because it says repeat. All of these are repeat. Nah! Don't want to fight. You know, there are things in life where you just have to kind of accept and move on, and this is one of those things. It's just like, there's no chance I'm going back and loading that save for something that stupid. It really kills me that we spent so much of our lives making sure I got those things just for that to go away like that. It's freaking brutal. Oh my god, I can't freaking believe it. Because I don't want to spend this stream going back and doing all that stuff. You can't skip any of those cutscenes. I don't want to do it on my own time, because I'm streaming right now, but if I continue making progress, I'm wasting any time that I decide to go back and do all that. The OCD in me is really struggling. I'm like at an 8 out of 10 angry right now. It's pretty bad. Cannot believe. Oh, you stupid. This is dumb, right? But let's say someone discovers my streams. And they're like, oh wow, he's putting in a lot of work to make sure he gets all those Stardust, and then they get to part 20, which is like 40 hours of content. Just to discover that no, in fact, I actually missed one. Just I can't. There was like boss fights and stuff. It's just unacceptable. There's no way to get back there? Like, after I leave this spot, there's absolutely no way to get back? Confirmed? Before, because if I can't, I'm genuinely moving on with my life, and I'm going to be mad about it. But that's okay. I'll just be mad about it. Oh my god, I hate the internet. Alright, every time I get to the Stardust that I want to read about, inside Shirley's Tower, is there really no way to get back there? Using the Queen Fury airship to travel to the town of Lohan, as the shrine is located in that region. You can get back there, according to AI. So let's hope AI is right for once. Yes. Go. Thank you for saying that, Spartan. It's still like I have OCD about this sort of stuff. If I was at like 36 and I was missing like 12 or something, whatever. But that's not what's happening here. This is something that we have dedicated a lot of my life to. Your actual PS1 has the fast forward thing. It does have the fast forward thing, my actual PS1. I made sure I installed that mod. However, there are multiple boss fights, including an optional boss fight prior to that save. Or post that save, I should say. No! I think I went in the wrong hole. Yeah. Crap. Chicken sandwiches are here. Thank God. You know, there are times I don't stream enough for me to. I want to start streaming more. Obviously, I intended to stream more last week, and boy, last week was a cluster duck. Just ducks everywhere. Every time I turn off the heat, I get cold, and I gotta turn the heat back on. Turn it down a little bit. No. When I was streaming, you know, 4 to 6 hours a day, me being grumpy for like an hour of it wasn't a big deal. When I'm streaming like 2 hours a week, I can't be grumpy. There's no time for grump. Yeah, the problem isn't necessarily the weather outside, it's the fact that I'm sitting right next to a door that leads to the outside that is not insulated. This right here leads to the balcony of the house. And whoever built this decided that it was going to be made out of cardboard. And it has been a record run of cold, at least for this area. Like multiple weeks of sub-zero temperatures. Why do I suck? Well, yeah, because the snow is frozen. It's just there. It's just rock hard freaking snow. Like, there's no place to park because all the snow is just everywhere. Yeah, I used to do that. I still would do that. Completely recovers HP. Let's do a healing breeze. I mean, I would bundle up and stuff, but we're not in a I'm not in a bundle up setting. I'm in my freaking home. And when you have children and a family in a house, like, you constantly have to run outside for stupid stuff. Like, oh, somebody left something in the car, or we got to get the groceries out, or something. And so I'm always going outside, and every time I go outside, like, half of my skin freezes off. Rashab's here! Rashab, this is the grumpiest I've been in a long time. You're here for it. Yeah, I was all excited to get streaming again, and now I'm just freaking running around this stupid gosh darn desert. Sorry for my language. Oh yeah, no, like, once you're outside, you might as well just sign your life away. There's no coming back. My least favorite part is when you go out, at least this happens to me, without fail, snot just flies out of my face. I can't do anything about it when it's this cold. I would also choose freezing cold over... Well, I don't know. Normally that's true. I've been, like, in a bad place. So everything that would normally not bother me is just, like, exponentially more bothersome to me lately. And I'm just, like, sitting there on the couch. Man, I don't want to move. It's just like, once I move, it starts getting cold again. I'm normally okay with it. This is somewhat abnormal for us to have this much cold, this much snow for this long. And I think, yeah, maybe the age thing has something to do with it. Maybe I'm just an old man now. This has got to be it. This is the one. It's not the one. It wasn't the one. But you know what? There is no failure, there is only learning. Wait, how long have we been walking around? I triggered the bad ending. Okay. How hot are the summers in Alabama? I imagine quite. But it's a dry heat, right? When it gets hot here, it's like, B knows what I'm talking about. It's just swampy. You just get wet the second you go outside, but it's like not a pleasant wet. It's like an internal wet. You know what I'm saying? No! That wasn't the right one. I don't think. Oh, it was. Oh, that worked out. No one likes living in Florida. I don't feel bad for them because no one likes living in Florida. Those people don't exist. There are people... I feel bad for people who don't want to live in Florida and happen to be there. But then I'm like, you know, you live in Florida, so you... I can only have so much sympathy for you. 109? The fact that's even an option is not okay. I would take the cold that I'm living in over 109. That's too much. That's too much for daddy. A humid 109? I don't condone suicide, however. I'll just end it there. This game would be better if it didn't have random battles, by the way. I like seeing those enemies. That was fun. I don't mind random battles, but in this game they seem somewhat excessive. Why do I feel like I have not made any progress? Alright. Mira says, water. This is a mirage. Let it be a mirage. Have her jump into sand. Rinku's here. Everyone's coming all out. I'm starting to feel a little bit better because you guys are making me feel better. I appreciate it. Congo says, here, no monster. We can rest now. Are there any Stardust here? We gotta stay on top of the Stardust that I haven't missed as well. Otherwise this thing falls apart. Are there any Stardust here? Miranda says, what will the Winglies in Ulara know? 100-ish in humidity sounds like death. My wife right now, if she's paying attention or listening, she's probably napping. Is upset at the mere idea. Rose says, they should know the way we, or at least I, should take. So there is no need for you to come. Miranda says, are you still saying that? Miranda says, don't you understand it is no longer a problem for you alone? Rose says, you just found it a couple of days ago, and now you think you can judge me? Rose says, it is not as easy as pursuing one Wingly. Oh! Okay. Miranda says, you say it was easy? Don't be so conceited. Albert says, stop it. It won't lead us anywhere. Rose, nobody can understand the weight of fate. The weight of fate you have carried. I'm impressed that I've been able to read this game because they just say phrases that no one would ever say. But we can at least lighten the burden for you. Dar says, that's why we are going with you. If you have the strength to argue, we can go on. I love how no one has mentioned Shauna. No one cares. Just like, yeah, all right. That whole thing happened, I guess. Dart says, there is no other way, is there? Everyone's like, you know what would make us feel better about Shauna? Snowboarding. And they'd be right. Rinku, you also live in a hot climate, right? We're talking about temperatures and climates. So what's your thoughts on the hot v cold? Went on a walk when it was so hot I didn't even make it 1/4 of my route before wanting to puke. Yeah. Can I get in that hole? Yeah, hole. Oh, this is gonna show me I know what this is. I don't want this. It's going to show me holes that I can go in and get more chests. Oh my goodness! Oh boy. Jeez. Alright, well, I thought maybe we were going to have some narrative momentum going on. But perhaps not. Alright, well. I can always put on more clothes, yeah. It has been exceptionally cold, though. That's the only reason I'm complaining about the cold this time. It has been colder than usual. Alright, I'm confused about where I should... Oh my god, there's just so many different places to go. Fall is the best season and everyone knows it. Ew. No, it's exactly what I did the first time around. I have a feeling this stream is going to be largely me running around this stupid desert. Last one ended on a cliffhanger. This is like when a TV show ends on a cliffhanger but doesn't address it in the following episode. Can't think of any examples at all off the top of my head, but they exist! I hate this. I hate this so much. I don't... How about this one? Someone tell me what's in those chests. Because if it's just healing bull crap or offensive items, I don't care. I'm actually going to look it up. What's this place called? Death Frontier. Dead Frontier. What? Oh. I should probably put in Legend of Dragoon. Let's take a look at these chests. Let's see what we got here. Gameplay. Monsters, no. Okay. Nope, those are enemies. Enemies. Treasure. Is there anything in here that I give a crap about? Something called Gladius, which sounds like a weapon for... All of those are just healing items. Sun Rhapsody, Power Down. What the heck is that? A repeat item. Halves its physical and magical attack and defense for the... That sounds awesome. So we need that. Okay. We don't need it, but I want it. And then there's Gladius. And then... Which is a weapon for... Probably Dart that makes the most sense. No, maybe it's not for Dart, because I don't see it on there. It's for Rose. Which... The Dragon Buster is her ultimate weapon. So there is one weapon better than the Gladius. If I care enough to try to go for the ultimate weapon, then I can skip it. So let's do that, because I don't want to have to do that. So the only thing I really care about, and even then you can convince me that I don't actually care about it, is the Power Down. And the only problem is that I don't know how to get it. The guide doesn't say which one of these is the Power Down. Unless there's a map. Oh, there is a map. Alright, so there's the Oasis. Oh. The Gladius is G. Which which does not appear to be on this map at all. Oh, it's way down there. Oh, wait, no, it's not. So if I go... If I go right up, right down, down, that's the Gladius. Let's see if I can do that. Right. Is that right, or is this right? This looks more right. The other one looks down. So right. Up. Right. Right, up, right, down. Down. That should be the Gladius. If that's the case, then that worked out. You know what? Good on the world for providing me stuff, doing all the work. In the grand scheme of my lives, I've contributed very little to the world. I am just benefiting off of everyone's labor. And this is it. Like, something as dumb as like doing a really good map for this crappy area in this game that is somewhat niche nowadays. I guess it was relatively popular when it came out, right? Couple million here and there or whatever. Yeah. Cool. Please be the Gladius. Oh! What do I think about AI? Oh, man. What do I think about AI? Instantly kills enemy with given probability. All right. Yeah. That's a deep, complicated... Well, it's a question that has a deep and complicated... Where's I? So I is back at the... So let's drop in this hole to get back to the oasis. Oh, and we got something. Get up. Alright, I don't care. I think there are... I'll just very short, because I don't want to get into the thing. There are a lot of ethical concerns that I have with AI, while not completely writing off its potential about what it can do for certain aspects of life. But I am largely negative about AI. Not completely negative that I would never use it, or never consider, never be open to the idea of what it can do. So up, left, up is power down. Up. Left. No. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Is that there's... If anyone says like, "Oh yeah, AI is amazing. There's nothing wrong with it," then we've got a problem here. We have to talk. We have to talk. But if people are like, "I can see how this might benefit some things, but I am largely concerned about how perhaps corporations might use them," then yes. Repeat, 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 not repeat. Pew, pew. Power down. Alright, drop in the hole. All the audio is in Finnish. I wouldn't understand characters in this game without AI. Right, and that's not a bad thing, right? I think there's even like cool creative uses you could do with the AI. If you've ethically trained a model and then developed characters with that ethically trained model, and you had characters that reacted to and adapted to who you are in a video game, that would be cool. Or what if you have like a psychological horror game that is reading your behavior and it's training its model based on its behavior and then just messes with you based on your behavior. It's smart enough to know what your psychological fears are and it like preys on them or something. That would be cool. As long as it is ethically trained to do so. So I'm not sitting there saying like AI cannot be used for creativity or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. There's just a lot of really... Okay, so Oasis 1. Up, right. Up, left. Oh boy, I'm just going to leave this open. I went up. Now we go right. Up. Left. Up, I think. This should be Oasis 2. Yes, sir. Save it again, because why not? And then up, left, up, right, up. I can remember that. Up, left, up, right, up. Yeah, like I said, it's too deep to get into here in this Legend of Dragoon stream on a Monday afternoon. But it's just like with anything else. As long as it's not abused, we have to be confident enough to set standards and regulations and stuff to prevent it from being abused. And if we don't, then it's going to be abused and it's going to be a net negative. Human beings, if they can abuse it, they will. That's just the system. That's what we have designed. That's what we have decided was the best. So if that is an option, they will do it. And therefore, if that is how it goes, then it will be not good. But if we can get around that, like social media, for example, is abused. If it wasn't abused, it would be a really cool tool. It still is somewhat of a cool tool, but cool tool. Useful tool, let's say that, because cool tool sounds bad. There are a lot of harmful things that social media has brought as a result of it being abused by people that want to make money. So we have to put regulations in place that would prevent something like that from happening. We have not done so. So that's mainly why I'm scared, is because I don't think we're actually going to do the work to make it safe, useful, a net positive for the world. Rose says, even an adventurer is lucky enough to make it through the death frontier. Nobody can proceed from here. Rose says, time was stopped for me 11,000 years ago with the spell of this choker. And this is the only way to see Ulara, the Spring Breath Town. The Spring Breath Town? Albert says, but where is it? Heschel says, the only thing here is an endless desert. Mira says, no, it's not. Heschel, I sense it. I sense people's feelings. Over there. There's people's feelings over there. I can feel them. I sense them. I haven't missed any Stardust, right? Now I'm scared. Oh, man! Can you explain how you did that? Rose says, we can fly over there with this. Are you afraid? Dart says, I think you are. Dang! That might have been the coolest line in this game so far. Rose says, maybe. Dart says, we are standing by you. I don't know why that got me, but I really like that. Yeah, we'll have to go down deep into the Randy psyche to figure out why that one hit me in such a way. Rose says, I know. Bart says, let's go. How about I check this out first? You suck. Man, the way that was so freaking baller. I think it was the way he said, like, I think you are. Not like, are you afraid? He's like, no, you are. You're afraid. I'm not afraid. You're the one that's afraid. Man, that was cool. I suddenly like this game a lot more. See, it really doesn't take much. I don't even think they did that on purpose. It was probably bad translation, but I really liked it. Cold. Karen says, is that how you pronounce that? That's an unfortunate name. Welcome to Alara, the Spring Breath Town. I am the guard of the teleporting device, Karen. Hi, Karen. Karen says, I'm a good friend of Rose's. Rose says, long time no see, Karen. Karen says, long time, in quotes. Quote unquote. Karen says, Rose, you are starting to regain a sense of time, aren't you? No, not only that, you have recovered a lot of other things, too. Dart says, are you the person who stopped time for Rose? Rose says, no, it was Charla. We're gonna have to decide on how to pronounce that right now. I like Charlie. Rose says, no, it was Charlie Frama. She is the person we have to meet now. I like Charlie. Charlie and Karen. Karen says, Rose has been carrying the fate of the world all alone while shedding tears of blood. I hope you still like this game despite its flaws and frustrating aspects. Hold on. We're getting deep today. I'll answer that after this dialogue exchange here. Karen says, can you go with Rose? Rose says, Karen, stop it. I don't need to force them. Dart says, I have already settled things with the Black Monster. Dart says, the only thing left is that I have to complete this journey with my companions. Karen says, if you understand that, I have nothing to say. Okay. Alright, so do I like this game? I'm not hesitating to preserve your feelings. I'm hesitating because I'm not sure. I'm thinking. Okay. Well, yeah, where do I land? I mean, I'm still playing it. Which is... There are games that I thought I would like. So I streamed Dino Crisis, and I remember really liking that game as a kid. And then I played through it in its entirety on stream, and I ended up not liking it. I like this game more than Dino Crisis. I don't know what that says about this game, but I went into a game I figured I would be biased to like, not liking it. So that goes to show you how much I dislike that game. There are games that I thought I would like that I ended up not liking at all and didn't continue streaming it. I like this game more than those. For a product of its time, I think it would be... If I had to rate this... If I had to review this like I was reviewing it at the time it came out, with that knowledge that I had, and not the knowledge that I have now, I would be comparing it to games of its type, in which case I would say it is not as good as those ones, but it is still okay. So I would give it somewhere between a 6 and a 7, based on where I'm at now. It could stick the landing and make me love it a lot more. Like that line that Dart said brought it up to a 7 for a minute. So, and I can, so we got a dialogue exchange. Let me get through this, then I'll keep answering that question. Dart says, Roses. Wait, Does Rose like roses? There it says roses. I think Shauna would be happy to see them. Not Rose? Also, that's the first time anyone has mentioned Shauna. Hazel says, it makes me relieved. I didn't know you liked flowers, Miranda. I guess there is some woman in you. Miranda says, don't misread me. Miranda says, roses make me puke. They are just flashy. They don't have any kindness in them. See, now that's a good line too. That's really good. Maybe this is the best disc in the game, despite having me gone through that crappy desert. Miranda says, do you know why roses have thorns? I can ask Brett Michaels. It is to bring out their own red using the blood of the people they hurt. They'll do anything for their own happiness. That's freaking cool. Miranda is like the best character all of a sudden. Let's move on. I don't need to be here, says Miranda. Miranda weirdly triggered by roses, and that is awesome. That's so good. Oh man. Okay, if the rest of this game was like the past 10 minutes, then this would be one of my favorite games. That's where I'm at. Flowers are okay. I'm a big fan of character stuff. So when character stuff comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, tell me more. Lore stuff, for the most part, unless it's awesome, I don't give a crap about it. This game seems to be obsessed with its crappy lore. And I don't mean crappy, that was harsh. Let me back up. It's not especially interesting lore. And the game thinks it's the most interesting thing in the world. I care about what my people are doing today. These people in this game, what they're doing right now, these are the people I should care about. I don't care about what happened 11,000 years ago. I care about what happened, how what happened 11,000 years ago affects these people, and that's fine, and sprinkle it in as you are affecting these people. But I don't need to see flashbacks from 11,000 years ago. I don't need any of that stuff. Wow! Watch me be able to buy the Gladius. Just go ahead and watch it. Watch it right now. Okay, good. So I don't think the story is amazing. It has moments that are pretty good. And it has some writing that is pretty good. It has also some baffling writing. It also has moments where I can feel like someone sat in a room and said, like, what if Final Fantasy VII specifically, but we made it? Oh, someone get on the, okay, someone open the guide. Oh man, everything has been derailed. Now what? I don't know what to do. Do I open the guide, or are we doing this? Are we rolling? The Legend of Dragoon, not Dragon, Dragoon, Stardust. Locations. How many are in disc 4? There's 4 on disc 4. 5 if we include the one that I missed. Search the pot in the weapon shop. Examine the rose bed. Examine the large snapping plant. So there's 3 here. No problem. Chicken wraps come before Stardust, and that's just the hierarchy of needs right there. Yeah, no, like I said, there have been plenty of times where I've stopped and said, like, that is not something people would say. And there have been times where I've said, and that's bad. And there have also been times where I said, and that's freaking cool. It can go both ways. And I don't think they do either one intentionally. I wonder if they got like, kind of lazy with the Stardust at the end here. Alright, large plant. What's a large plant? Yes, or very funny. Like, it's either amazing in a good way and in like a, wow, that's cool. Incredibly bad in a like, oh, that's really stupid in a way that's not funny. Or stupid in a way that's very, very funny. And you know, there are things about this game that are just charming, right? It's not something that I could put on and say like, oh, this is objectively a good feature, but the way that they say their attack names is I have an affection for. That's a, oh, maybe this is where it's at. There's some piranha plants over there. Rose says, Miata, where is Charlie? Miata says, you are wondering because she would normally be taking care of these babies, right? Yes, see, like, babies would not be something I would say right there. It's not, I mean, unless that's just a character thing, but whatever. Miata says, Charlie is preparing herself because, well, the things we didn't tell you about, right? Zieg told you them, so. Rose says, it must be about the moon signet. Rose says, tell me what you know. Miata says, the signet is the signet sphere. Miata says, the signet sphere is a sealing device that was created to be the last barrier, just in case the moon child reached the moon that never sets. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I ran into, we had an objective that turned into a sub-objective that turned into another sub-objective that runs into a character that gives me more freaking lore that I don't need. This game really thinks that the lore is important, and it's not right now. It's just not. We know everything we need to know. Miata says, even more scary is Zieg. He is trying to destroy the signet sphere using the divine moon objects. Dart says, wait a minute. You made the signet sphere just because you were afraid of the birth of the god of destruction? And why did you make tools that can destroy the signet? Miata says, ask Charlie. It was decided between the siblings. Rose says, I will. And you know, there was the... What was the... I already forgot his name. Mr. what? I kept saying Mr. because the one person kept saying Mr. Mr. what? What was his name? Gray hair, white hair, whatever. Sephiroth. I already forgot his name. He's not in my party, is he? No. What the heck was his name? I want to say Rufus, but that's not right. What's his name? We thought he was the bad guy the whole time. And he kind of was, I guess. I'm actually unclear. Yes, Mr. Miyagi. Perfect. Someone says, oh, Rosie, darling, I have been waiting for you. Is that Charlie? I can't believe I forgot his name. That was the whole running joke that I kept saying Mr. I don't need your greetings. You know what I want to ask you. Charlie says, oh, you are scary. But before that, can you introduce me to the son of dear Ziggy? Ziggy? Rose says, this is Dart. Charlie says, doesn't he just look just like our Ziggy? But Rosie, honey, it's complicated. You have to fight with the son of someone who used to be your significant other. And furthermore, the enemy is the significant other. Now, here, let me break down why this is complicated for you. Rose says, do you want me to give you a knuckle sandwich? Charlie says, sorry, honey. Charlie says, but I'm really concerned, so I'm intentionally making it happy and delightful so that you won't be depressed, Rosie, sweetheart. Yes. Saying really complicated emotional things in a delightful way removes depression. That's just how it works. Rose says, you have never changed. Are we about to beat up Charlie right now? Are we ganging up on her? Dart says, Charlie, if you know, please tell us. Where should we head to? Charlie says, really? You have the same eyes as Zeke. Stop it! Just tell us where we need to go! Charlie says, I know. I have been waiting for you in order to tell you everything. Now, what would you like me to tell you? I just told you. No, I don't want any one of those. I want to know where to go. It's gonna make me ask about all of them. I asked about the signet sphere. Charlie says Ziggy is trying to break the signet of the moon that never sets with the magic power of the divine moon objects. That is a sentence and a half, my friends. That signet is the signet sphere. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you about this. Rose says, I have to apologize. I missed the moonchild, Shauna. Charlie says, but you still have time. The signet of the moon that never sets is not broken yet. Dart says, where are the remaining signets? Charlie says, in the past, they were placed in 5 cities, but there are only 3 left. Albert says, that's why they needed the same number of divine moon objects. Dart says, what happened to the other 2? Charlie says, one was destroyed in the royal capital Cadessa during the Dragon campaign, and the other was lost when the divine dragon assaulted the Crystal Palace. Rose says, does this mean without the divine moon objects, the signet sphere can be destroyed? Charlie says, the divine moon objects are just tools that conceal vast amounts of magic power, that's all. So in order to destroy the signet sphere, having the same amount of magic power as the divine moon objects is sufficient. Dart says, my dad, I don't know if I'd call him my dad. I think we've gone past that now. He's trying to destroy the world and all of living people and thing. Dart says, my dad knew about this and made Lloyd collect them. It is Zelda-esque, yeah. Charlie says, it doesn't seem like him, and it's so indirect. Plus, something is strange. I wonder how Ziggy knows about the signet sphere. Rose says, not only that, he knew that Shauna is the moonchild. How about you tell me about the moon that never sets? Zelda stream when? After this. Why not? I found Ocarina of Time. So we can play that. I'm in the mood for it. Sure. After this one. Why not? Dart says, about the moon that never sets. Charlie has to look off in the distance. Seamless co-op stuff. That's cool. Prince of Persia. R.I.P. to the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. Charlie says, it's the 108th fruit that the divine tree dropped. It was conceived with the god of destruction that ends the world. That's why we separated it into its soul and flesh and sealed them away. Charlie says, my baby brother Melbu sealed the soul, which was the source of magic power in the crystal sphere. But when he fought with Ziggy, it was broken. B, does that mean, are you just playing those games as they are exactly, but with another person? I'd be curious to see how that works. Charlie says, then the soul escaped from the crystal sphere and started to transmigrate into a human body. Since then, it has been called the Moonchild. What is left in the sky is the moon that never sets. Yeah, the problem with multiplayer gaming in general is that I have no friends. That's the thing. Charlie says, when the Moonchild goes back to the moon that never sets, the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, will be born. Oh, hi, B. Yeah, that's true. We're friends. That's true. So we needed our Rosie to take on an important task. The problem is you're a second shifter, though. And I used to be that as well, and that worked out really well. But then as life made me more of a morning glory guy, I shouldn't say it like that, but as someone that now has a first shift body, it becomes a little bit more challenging. Charlie says, please understand her, several dots. Yeah, me too, but it just so happened that life had different plans. Dart says, tell me about my father. Oh, you mean Ziggy. Charlie says, you are concerned, aren't you? Why? Dart says, why does he have to destroy the world? That's a really good question, actually. Charlie says, sorry, but that is the one thing that I don't understand. That's the one thing I want to know, though. Rose says, but he was unmistakably Zig. Charlie says, stop calling him Ziggy. That's a pet name for a very bad person. Charlie says, Ziggy was the fiancé of Rosie. They crossed both swords and love. See, that's a cool sentence. Just looking at them made me feel embarrassed. Rose says, stop right there. Oh yeah, Charlie is definitely a ditz. Is that okay to say? today? If it's not, I apologize. Rose says, I want to talk alone with Zieg about our memories. Yeah, B, I'll keep that in mind. That's a... I didn't... Yeah, we'll figure something out down the road. Dart says, I agree. Or we can do weekend stuff. In theory, neither one of us work. I don't work at all. Like, this is what I do now. Hey, yeah, if you want to, like, subscribe or follow or tell your friends, like, this is all I do anymore. That and parenting. That's all I have time for. Now I'll ask, why make items to break the signet? That's a good question, Dart. Actually, that's smart. Why did the Divine Moon objects that can... Why did you make the Divine Moon objects that can break the signet sphere, other than in case exactly this happened? Rose says, that's right. If you were not planning to allow the Virage embryo to be born, you wouldn't need them. Charlie said, I didn't want to, but my baby brother Melbu insisted. Melbu. Rose says, that is not an explanation, Charlie. Charlie says, oh, you are so uptight, but okay, I'll explain it to you. That's a good album name. Charlie says, I told you that we sealed the soul of the Virage embryo in the crystal sphere, right? It is in order to draw lots of magical power and rule over other creatures. So a purely benevolent thing. Charlie says, I wanted to make him stop being a dictator, because even though we have different appearances or capabilities, we are the same. Amen, brother. Sister. We should be able to live together on good terms. That's why I created the Signet Sphere in order to weaken the magic power of the Crystal Sphere. Rose, without telling you that, the 5 signets... Wait. Okay. The 5 signets that protect the moon that never sets restrain the magic power that flows from there. My operation was a big success, I thought. Rose says, but Melbu found out about it and created the Divine Moon objects. Wreck. Charlie says, I guess he was prepared so that he could destroy the signets anytime he wanted to. Rose says, I get it. Oh my. Where are the rest of the signets? Yes, finally! Dart says, where are the rest of the signet spheres? Charlie says, that's right. That is the most important information for you, isn't it? Yes, it was kind of the information I wanted from the start. Charlie says, because Ziggy has the Divine Moon objects and he can break the signets anytime. Listen carefully. The rest of the 3 signet spheres are located in the ancient cities. The names of the cities are, you better write this down, the magical city Aglis, Law City Zenabatos, and Death City Mayful. I don't know. Hey guys, should we name our city? What should we name our city? How about Mayful? No, that doesn't sound scary enough. Well, what if we call it Death City Mayful? Yeah, okay. Rose says, those cities are still alive? See, now still alive is not something I would say about a city, right? That's just words that I wouldn't use. Charlie says, it's surprising, isn't it? Of course they were badly damaged during the war. Dart says, how do we get there? Well, you follow the map, the dotted lines on the map. It's the only place, I mean, you can't walk anywhere else other than the dotted lines on the map, so if you follow them, eventually you'll get there. Charlie says, go to Rouge, then your way will be open. Patriel says, you said Rouge? It's my hometown. Charlie says, see, it is already open, isn't it? What? Well, it'll be night soon. Why don't you go look around until tomorrow morning? You know me, I love wandering around aimlessly until 12 hours have passed. Is it tomorrow morning? A fade out implies a passage of time. Go take a walk in Ulara at night. That is a very specific demand. I'll be fine. You go walk at a specific location at a specific time. Wait, it is night. She could have just said go for a walk. It is night. We are in Ulara. She did not have to specify at night in Ulara. It's time for Mario to take care of those plants, though. Dart does something in brackets. He thinks. I assume that's thinking. I think brackets we've decided is think. In parentheses is we decided is whisper. Is that what we've decided? I don't know. Dart says in brackets, now our way is opened. Shauna, I'll be there soon. And thus concludes the second mention of Shauna in several hours. Dart says, Rose, 4 dots. You really forgive? Dart says, don't say anything. It's already in the past. I'm actually not clear on why maybe I missed this. Why Rose destroyed his hometown. Dart says, take your sword. Wait. I thought we forgave each other. Rose says, you have become strong. You can take care of yourself. Rose says, kill me. Dart says, okay. Dart changed his mind. Rose says, why? Dart says, the black monster is dead now. We only have a companion who is on the same road. None of this is earned. It's admirable effort, but man. Rose says, I miss the time when you were chased by Firebrand in the forest. Dart says, me too. Because the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Spartan. Dart says, and I didn't know anything back then. The world is so frail. Rose says, the world is created so that it can perish at any time. The creator Soa can recreate one anytime. Rose says, but the people living there can accept it, believing it is fate or struggle against it. Fate was in quotes. Rose says, I struggled in order to protect this world that was taken back by friends who gave up their lives. Dart says, I told you. You are no longer alone, Rose. Rose says, Dart. 4 dots. Dart says, let's go see everybody. I don't know if I've fulfilled my objective of walking alone at night in an Ulara. Dart says, this is just the beginning. Enter me, Rose. You're basically my mother. I gotta pee really bad, and I've had to for a while because I keep drinking that coffee. Yeah, the very weirdly specific things that people remember that I say. I say a lot of things. So, I'm glad that tickled you, B. I saw that clip not too long ago, actually. I think it's almost time to play Final Fantasy something again. I think we're almost there. Spartan says go pee. Well, since Spartan said it, I guess I'm gonna have to now. I do whatever Spartan says. I'll be right back. Never grind. Oh my goodness. Everything popped. What did I say that tickled you the other day, Rick? I don't even remember. You mentioned it, though. Hello, Aaron GB1001. You just pre-ordered 3 amazing games. Tell me what amazing games you have pre-ordered. I'm ready. And if you ask me for my credit card, I might just give it to you. You've got me excited. I would love to play Final Fantasy Tactics, actually. I've never played it. What you got for me, Charlie? Why don't you go out, sweetie dart? Oh, man. I hate her so much. Oh, man. I really, really hate her. Did I get what was in that chest? I don't remember. I sure didn't. Wow! I'm so full of, like, repeat garbage that... Oh, yes, that was... Yep, that was it. Out of context, no one is going to understand what that means. I think I'm going to play... So I got all my stuff hooked up over there. If I'm going to play Tactics, I'm going to play... I want to play the PS1 version on my TV, on my CR big fat thing. And then play the remake someday when I'm old and want to play it again. Older. So, you know, already old, but... Oh, you got scammed? I'm sorry. That sucks. Have I been scammed before? Surely I must have at some point. I did, so someone's account, one of my Steam friends one time, their account was hacked and they sent me a link. And since, you know, I trust my friends, I clicked the link and it ended up being that it was a phishing attempt from someone whose account was hacked. So, fortunately, I recognized it, but I did click it. But it's super fun. Stream care about more making progress, but don't worry about that. Well, no, I don't know if people want to hang out and with this game. I don't think they're too concerned about the progress. So, if we have to grind, we have to grind. Like I don't know. We gotta do what we gotta do. I mean, you paid through the nose for all these 3 games. That's what I meant. Okay. What games did you? That's not a scam if you're into it. Actually, dividing that by 3, that's a hefty sum. Can I ask what games you pre-ordered? So I actually don't know where this wants me to go. Oh, there's Albert. Let's talk to these guys. All right. Albert says, so we are leaving in the morning. Dart says, yes, we are. Dart has, like, a newfound confidence as a leader all of a sudden that I'm kind of admiring. I don't think I would call it an arc, because I don't think it... it doesn't feel like it was a gradual transition. It just seems like he checked the box of confidence. Dart says, what are you doing here? Congo says, we don't know what will happen in ancient city of Winglies. We need strong weapon. So I'm going to steal it. Congo doesn't care about leader of creatures. Congo goes with you to the end. Resident Evil Requiem Deluxe Edition, Fatal Frame 2 Remake, and WWE 2K26 Attitude Era Edition. Those are all great choices. Although I'm well, I haven't cared about a WWE game in a very long time, but that seems like a decent one to jump in on. Resident Evil Requiem. I'm not sure if Psionic Hex is here, but if Psionic Hex sees his shadow, and I might have to stream that by law. Like that's the arrangement we have. So if someone wants to ping Psionic Hex in the Discord, he will buy that game for me, and then I will have to stream it. Albert says, for me too, it is no longer the mere problem of the Moon Gem. I love Resident Evil. Yes. Albert says, I cannot ignore the crisis of the world. You didn't imagine we wouldn't go with you, did you? Dart says, I didn't. Manager of the weapon shop says, and that's their God-given name, hurry up if you want to buy humans and Haganto. Your time is limited. Resident Evil 7 is fantastic. I think there's only maybe one Resident Evil game ever made that I have not finished, and that was Resident Evil 6. But I eat those games up. They're among my favorites. We leave in the morning. So what? How do you define the morning? Where do we go? Okay, there's what's-her-face there. Is that Miranda? It's not Miranda. Mira says, hey Dart, I was telling Karen about my forest. It's totally fun. As in the forest is fun, or are you telling Karen about the forest is fun? Dart says, that's right. Karen and the others have been in the city forever. I just hated the way Resident Evil 6 played. I didn't like the controls. I might need to give it another try, but... Miro says, exactly. So I am telling her about the latest fashions outside. Karen says, it seems you heard about everything from Charlie. Yes, I did. Karen says, where are the other people? I don't know. Dart says, I don't know. I think they're around there. Karen says, but Dart, you should meet your other friends. Otherwise you cannot go forward, can you? No, I have Rose and Albert. That's really all I need. Karen says, when you meet everybody, come again. I'll open the next way. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, I love Resident Evil. There are varying degrees of Resident Evil on this YouTube channel. If you want to go and dig, they're in there. They're definitely in there. Is there a Resident Evil game I have not streamed in one form or another? I'm sure, surely. I have played all God of Wars except Ragnarok. I have not played that one yet. Literally finished every single one of them except Ragnarok, including the handheld ones. I love those games. We're looking for Miranda. Resident Evil Survivor. Have I played You're right. Okay. If we're talking spin-offs, I haven't finished those, but I have played them. Fun fact, I really liked Resident Evil Survivor at the time. I suspect I would not like it today. You know what doesn't have a horrible mouse? Dead Zone, Tim. A legitimate PlayStation 1 controller. No mouse Dead Zone there. Where the heck are my friends? Yeah, so about me, like, this being my only thing I do right now, because I'm unemployed and have been unsuccessful in finding a job, saying nice things helps me and makes me want to do this more often, and I appreciate everyone who has said nice things. Also, you know, all of the following and subscribing and telling friends and all that stuff would also go a long way to get me to do this more often. I would love to play Fatal Frame. That's like on the list of games that I need to dig into. I've touched Fatal Frame 1. That is a game that I have played. I have not touched any of the other ones. Alright, there's only one spot in this area that I have not been to. I also love games. It's fair. It's a fair criticism, Tim. You're right. There's nothing wrong with that. Brenda says, it's not true. The reason why I hate roses is because I see my mother in roses. See my mother in Is it because her mother is dead? My mother never looked at me directly. It was as if she was hiding something from me. Miranda says, and she beat him up. Miranda says, I didn't know what was going on and why she was doing it to me, but I remember at least one thing. Miranda says, there were always roses on the shelf behind my mother. Spartan, I'll answer that question after this dialogue exchange. Hazel says, why did your mother leave you? Miranda says, sorry, let's not talk about me anymore. It spoils our drinks. Hazel says, I don't think so. It is okay to be this way. Life is not always happy. Amen, brother. I do not watch anime. That is short answer, but I will I will have a longer answer in just a moment. Hazel says, listening to your story reminds me of my past. Thank you, Aaron. I will be fine. Everything's fine. I mean, I have a sugar mama wife, so we'll be all right. And Miranda says, about your runaway daughter, right? Oh yeah, has that been addressed at all? He keeps bringing that up. Has that... We had a flashback, right? Where he like, her daughter... Or wait, hold on. Somebody died in his flashback. Like, there was an exhibition and, like, someone got too rough and killed somebody. That happened. Hazel says, you are so sharp that it hurts. Just like a rose. Because every rose has its thorn. Miranda says, I hate being roundabout. Dart says, oh, you guys are here. We were listening the whole time. Miranda says, when are we leaving? Hazel has been drinking too much since he heard we are going to Rouge. Hazel says, that's right. Drink a little more and let's leave for Rouge at once. Hazel says, of course, to save the world. Dart says, give me a drink too. Rose says, may I join? I wanted to talk to you, Miranda. Wait, does Miranda hate Rose because her name is Rose? That's probably what it is, right? Miranda says, same here. I'm also not clear on the whole Rose thing. Dart says, as in Rose, not proper noun Rose, the regular noun Rose. Alright, can we leave now? Ah, you're mumbo jumbo, I don't care. Wait. Alright, so, I do not watch anime. However, I have watched some. But not because I wanted to. But anytime anyone asks me what's my favorite anime, I always say it's Midori Days. And if no one knows what Midori Days is, I will explain it to you. It is this, like, high school cool guy bully one day wakes up and has a girl for a hand. His hand has been replaced by a sentient female. I have not watched Berserk 1997. I played a Dreamcast game that was Berserk. That was cool. It says, hey buddies, Karen was telling me about the teleporting device. It's not like back home. Mira says, and when are we going? We already heard lots about it from Charlie, and we found out where we should go. Rose says, you are coming too? Mira says, of course, without me, the strongest of all, you cannot save the world. Besides, I learn a lot following Dart. Like about the game, the rules of the game Dart. Mira says, everybody's the same. Hagantos, humans, and Winglies. And I can't stand the destruction of a world where everybody lives. Rose says, I think for the first time I agree with Miru. Is this the first time? Karen says, leave here tomorrow morning. Jeepers. By that time, I'll be prepared so that I can send you on the way that goes to the home of Hagantos from here. Dart says, we can travel that far instantly. Then we might as well go directly to Rouge. Karen says, our power is becoming weaker day by day. That is our maximum power. Dart says, I understand. We have a game to make. We can't just go directly to where the plot needs us to go. Then we wouldn't have a video game. Karen says, take a boat to Rouge. It should have been prepared in the Twin Castle a short while ago. Dart says, where was there a dock in the castle? Karen says, I asked King Zyor and had him make one especially. Rose says, I'm surprised that he listened to a Wingly. There's lots of lore going on. Karen says, there are no humans or Winglies when it comes to the end of the world. You don't need to thank us. Now, it is not too much to say that the mission of the city is to send you off. That is the city's entire purpose. Rose says, yes, and this is one way. This city has been looking after the world. Let's go back to Charlie. She must have prepared the bedrooms for us. Yeah, I have not really watched much anime to comment on it. I can never get into it. I don't know why. Yep, looks good to me. Bye, Charlie. I hope to never see you again. Holy crap. Someone is going to have to prepare me for when I'm in the vicinity of finishing this game, because I oftentimes have hard outs. I have to cut off the stream. Oh, Pokemon. Yeah, I guess I watch Pokemon. That's true. That counts. But not, I mean, you know, for like a year, and then I grew out of it. You know, I was obsessed with Pokemon for the Red and Blue generation and then never touched it again. But yeah, as I was saying, if I'm on the precipice of the end of this game, someone has to tell me so I can block out some time. Dart says, Charlie, what is this? Charlie says, oh, naive boy, don't you understand? It's a send-off for great heroes. Rose says, you shouldn't have. Miata says, don't be so shy. Rose says, Rosie, honey, I hate Charlie. Charlie says, Rosie, honey, you have been doing really great. Since the soul of the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, was released, you have saved the world, let me see, at least 107 times. Miata says, really, after even being called a black monster? That's true. I always load up a stream, like, it's either someone thinks I've got a lot of time left and then it takes me 20 minutes, or someone thinks I'm right at the end and it takes me 4 hours. Those are the only two options. Rose says, stop it. The monster has died. Charlie said, Ziggy is serious, and he has everything to give birth to the god of destruction. Yes, I will prepare for the next game, but I also don't want... You notice how this game is largely cutscenes in your face and dialogue everywhere. I don't want to initiate the end of the game and have it go for 3 hours and have to cut it off halfway through. Charlie says only Dragoons can stop him. Charlie says, I wonder what creator Soa is thinking, like destruction or regeneration? Charlie says, I wonder why it wants us to go through such a painful thingy. Oh my god, I hate Charlie so much. Rose says, we will change quote-unquote fate. Charlie says, everybody must survive, okay? Including, Uh-oh. I already forgot the guy's name. Starts with an L, I think. Doesn't matter. Karen says, now go. Z won't wait for us. Dart says, right. Not Lloyd. Yes, Mr. Lloyd was the... So thank you for saying that. Who was the guy? Lavitz. Lavitz. Yes, Lavitz is going to survive. Okay. Here we go. I'm not clear on what happened. I thought they were going to teleport me somewhere. It didn't look like they did that, though. If you're telling me all they had to do was get out of the way so I could exit through the other side of the town, I don't know if any of that was necessary. Wow! Oh, here's the home of Haganto. My most interested... I'm way in... I'm super invested in these guys, so that works out for me. That is a freaking out stone. Congo says, home of Hagantos. Dart says, it was linked to here. We've been here before. Heishu says, it's been a while. Mira says, Karen and Hagantos were pals for a long time. Of course it was when there were still some Hagantos left. Mira says, there were nice Winglies like Charlie. Miranda says, they weren't all brutal people, unlike the legend tells. Miranda says, we have to rewrite the book in the National Library. Albert says, yes, correct knowledge brings correct conduct. That's after... Dart says, that's after this journey has ended. That says, let's go see King Zior. We have to head to Rouge on the Queen Fury. It's time to reuse some assets, boys. Let's go. One other thing. So when someone asked me, I believe it was Spartan, if I like this game, there's another factor. I mentioned story. But the other factor is the gameplay, and I think the gameplay is largely boring as heck. If I was not streaming it, I would be bored out of my mind. There really is only attack and dragon. And half the boss fights are like, oh, you can't use your dragon. And the dragons are like, oh, here's just a more powerful attack.
Die.
So...
Demons down.
Wait. Ooh! That might be the biggest hit I've done so far. That hurt. Oh, it's because these things are like weaklings, right? Oh yeah, these guys are little babies. Dang. It's not the gameplay is not offensive. I think the presentation actually helps because I love the way this looks. The music is pretty good. Hopefully I'm going the right way. Yeah, no, that's right. I think, yeah. I think. Maybe not. Shop says, yeah. Maybe this isn't the right way? This seems like a lot of work. Get over there! Here I go. Gravity is pretty corrupted. Oh, did I miss any? No, there's only one more Stardust, and it's probably in a spot I've never been. Let me take a look, just to make sure. No. Okay, the last Stardust is in Rouge. Oh yeah, I forgot about this song. Yep. It did. So there's that. Okay, one benefit to this kind of crap is that it actually benefits me fighting these things. Normally in games like this, if you fight something that's low level, there's no reason to, but since I need to level up my additions, just gotta hit him. Yep, just gotta hit him. That's the problem.
Die. Demons dance.
Boom. Ba, 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 ba. Gling, gling. And I also leveled up, apparently. No, I don't want it. Yes. Thank you, Rashad. I actually don't know it. Spartan, do you know if this is the right way? Well, that certainly isn't. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, the nature of RPGs, especially Japanese style RPGs, is that it's by nature repetitive. So the experience of fighting has to be something you, at minimum, don't dread, and at maximum is enjoyable. And most Japanese style RPGs that I like, oh no, I can't be talking while I'm doing that stuff. You know, I somewhat look forward to fighting, either because I like the music or because the fighting is fun or whatever. And then this is just kind of like, meh. I kind of dread it a little bit.
Die.
Stupid butt! Sorry. Sorry. Please be the exit. Yep, just go ahead and pan the camera down. What's up, fellas? Keep up the good work. All right, gotta find Rouge. Looking for Rouge. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII absolutely did.
Die.
I mean, there's a reason Final Fantasy is as popular as it is. It's because it's really darn good. Going. Oh my. Oh, I might need to look up how to get to Rouge because I feel like I'm going the wrong way and we're wasting valuable time.
Die. Demons dance.
Demons dance. How do we dance? Nile Ross loves him or her or they them some Legend of Dragoon. It is a classic. Welcome, Nile Ross. Just didn't want to offend you. Didn't want to assume. But welcome. A whole parody game. Markiplier. You watch Markiplier and me? Yeah, we are similar popularity, so it makes sense that you would also watch Markiplier and me. They should remake this game. There's something here, right? There's enough here. And it's bad enough that it would benefit from of a remake. There are games where I'm like, oh, this is perfect, you should never touch it. And then there are games where like, oh, there's something here that is kind of lost in some bad decisions. And that is this game. I like this game enough, but as someone that has no nostalgia for it whatsoever, it could use another pass. And why not? Hit me with that bass. Yeah, this game got worse when this song got replaced. As far as I'm concerned.
Yes. Go.
Oh no! I sucked it up. Oh, that thing farted. Excuse you, Mr. Bug. You're dead now. That's what you get for farting. It's a family-friendly stream. No toilet humor here. Nope, down there. Yeah, now Russ, we're right on the same page, I think. This is just straight up not the right way. I don't think I'm trekking. I'm trekking hard. Gonna have to pull up some information. This can't be the right way. Nah, poop. The Legend of Dragoon. Guide. Alright, here we go. Going to game FAQs or game facts if you're nasty. Alright, they don't have a table of contents and it's not that easy to search on a phone, so let's do fandom. Pardon me, pardon me. Oh wait, no, it says go back to Fletz. Bart and his group head off towards the east where Tiburoa lies. They pass through the home of Hagantos and the Valley of Corrupted Gravity in order to reach Fletz, the capital city of Tiburoa. They meet King Zyor, as well as Princess Emily and the Princess Lisa in the Twin Castle. Zyor, having heard the... Okay. Sounds like I went the right way. Cool! Yeah, now, Ross, I don't know... You joined right as I pretty much said those exact words. Where I said, like, Final Fantasy is as popular as it is for a reason. It's because it's the cream of the crop. Did I ever play Wii games? I've got a Wii hooked up right over there. But no, I've never played a Wii game in my life. I'm joking. Yes, of course.
Die.
Devil's Dance.
Demons.
Never mind, Demon's Dance. Devil's Dance would be cool. It should be Devil's Dance. Wait, I didn't actually go to Fletz. Doi. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. I liked Wii a lot. The Wii had a lot of good games. I know it had a lot of, you know, I had that stigma for being... Man, I gotta stop talking while I'm doing that! I had a stigma for being for the grannies. Which, you know, what's wrong with giving grandmas something to play? I don't understand. But people hate grandmas so much. But there are also some good games on there. Arguably has the best version of Resident Evil 4. Which at one point I had, and I don't anymore. Makes me sad. Let's go, shall we? Haha. This is where the game I feel like it started losing me, because this is when they started blasting you with yeah, with lore that I wasn't necessarily thrilled with. Was this the place with the library that the guy was like climbing up and down and telling me the history and all that stuff? This is a good track. I like this a lot. King Zyor says, Dart, I have been waiting for you. Have you? Dart says, what is this? King Zyor says, we are seeing you off. Emily says, we received a messenger from Charlie. Lisa says her name was Karen. Oh, Karen made some progress, man. Holy crap. Silverdrop, how's it going? King Zyor says, everything is ready for going to Rouge. Raug? I've been saying Rouge, so I'll say that. King Zyor says, the world must not be destroyed. That's a bold claim, King Zyor. King Zyor says, even if it was the intention of the creator, we are still alive and living. I beg of you, please save the world. That's a profoundly deep thing, and unintentionally profoundly deep, I think. King Zyor says, Commodore Puler is waiting for you in the basement. King Zyor says, to carry our hope. Wait, Commodore Puler is carrying our hope? Is this when they push me down the stairs and end all hope? Dart says, so long. Small thing. But I don't like it that the menu has music. I kind of just wish I heard the music that was on the map that I was in. Small thing. Small thing. This is not the basement. Maybe it is. Oh, it is the basement, apparently. Peeler says, oh, you are here. I love your hat. Peeler says everybody looks confident, including Dart. He checked the confident box. Although you are going to an unknown land, there is no hesitation or wavering. Actually, it's my Peeler says, a man of the sea isn't bothered by those little details. Peeler says, anyway, we are ready to go. Peeler says, we absolutely have to stop the crazy conspiracy to annihilate the world. I don't know if I'd call it a conspiracy. Peeler says, however, we should never give up rescuing our loved ones either. Me too. I love the pirate aesthetic. The nautical theme stuff. Peeler says, let us be going, Dart. Someone says the ocean awaits you. I don't know who said it. Kayla says the Commodore makes it sound simple, but I assume that this time it will be a long journey, won't it? Dart says yes. Kayla says, then I think you'd better get what you need from the city and come back. No, I'm good. Dart says, thank you. Kayla says, it's okay. I am happy to help you, Dart. Besides, Kayla says, please rescue Shauna. Oh yeah, Shauna. Forgot about her. Albert says, we give you our promise. Aisha says, of course we will. You talking about, didn't I get on a boat with these people 10 streams ago? Is that what you're asking? The answer is yes, I did. Kayla says, I'll be waiting for you on the boat. Bet you will. Dart says, let's go. Right now. Let's just go. Kayla says, I've been waiting for you. Are you ready? Yes, we are. Kayla says, now we are leaving. It sounded more like a train than a boat, but we'll go with it. Choo-choo, all aboard the boat. Choo-choo, whoa! Dang! Goes really fast, it starts and stops on a whim. Apparently we have fights on the boat, that's rad. That's so cool. And there's a rainbow bird. Time for it to die.
Die.
No! You suck, rainbow bird! 0! What? Maybe it's immune to whatever the heck that is. Alright, we've reached a problem here. Do we have an item? This is when I pay for selling all of the thing there. Man, I don't want to go into Dragoon form to kill this thing. No! I got a better idea. What if we just run away? Because this sucks. See ya, bird. We ran away. We are in the ocean. You get to have our ship, bird. So it's all yours now. Crap. Hopefully it's not another bird. Be something else. No! Run away. The ship is yours. Abandoned ship. Wow! Here we are, we're in Rouge. Alright, everybody. We gotta get that last Stardust. And by last Stardust, I mean second to last Stardust. Where is it? I'm gonna look it up so I don't have to rely. Oh, we've been here before. Have we been here before? Maybe not. Sail ho! Who's a sail ho? Who are you calling a sail ho? inside a pot adjacent to Martel's room. Hazel says, it's been a long time. I wonder if anyone remembers me. Nope. Ha, Hazel. Hazel says, yeah, it's me. Mayor of Rouge says, well, it's been maybe 20 years? You've gone for such a long time. How have you been? Hazel says, I was looking for my runaway daughter, but I gave up on it, because who gives a crap about her, am I right? Mayor of Rouge says, Claire, huh? I feel sorry to hear that. And who are you, all these people? Are they your new pupils? Hazel says, no, they are my friends, and by friends, I mean people I follow who don't really like me very much. I'd like for you to get to know them. Hazel says, but we don't have time now. I have something important to talk to you about. Mayor Rouge says, all right, come up. I'll listen to you. Come on, get over. The floor is gonna give way. What? Mayor of Rouge, I've got stuff to talk to you about. Look at Hazel contemplating. Hazel says, hasn't changed a bit, huh? Mayor Rouge says, yes, it has. I moved that pot over there. He also says, no kidding. This village is forgotten. We rarely have visitors from the continent. Fisherman of Rouge says, all we do is fish and sleep. Fish and sleep. We are very depressed. Martial Art Master of Rouge says, practice and sleep, and practice and sleep. Mayor of Rouge says, mayor stuff and sleep, mayor stuff and sleep. That's about it. Nothing has changed since Hazel left the village. Why did you address me by Hazel? You could have just said you, because you're talking to me. I'm Hazel. Mayor Rouge says, say, what's cooking? You came all the way here. Must be something important, huh? Hazel says, yep. To be honest, we are looking for the way to the ancient cities. Mayor Rouge says, ancient cities? What the heck are they? Rose says, those were towns where the long-gone Wingleys lived. Dar says, do you know anything about them? Mayor Rouge says, Wingleys? What on earth are they? You lost me. Hazel says, you couldn't know. Let me explain. And cut to the dialogue explaining every gosh darn detail this game has given me so far. Because that's how this game rolls. Mayor Rouge says, a world crisis? That's a pretty awful thing then. And I just believe you. Hazel says, that's why we are in a hurry. Dar says, are there any old ruins around here? Rose says, things that humans couldn't make. Fisherman of Rouge says, how about this? There is a stick rising from the sea, out from the sea. Could it be related? I freaking doubt it. I'm not sure how you drew the A to B on that one. Martial Arts Master of Rouge says, oh, that thing in the sea. Indeed, humans couldn't have made it. Humans probably didn't make it. It's a stick. They're everywhere. Can I do a German impersonation? Maybe. I'm not going to try. Just because I don't want to offend any Germans. Dart says, where is that? Mayor of Rouge says, it's in the middle of the sea, but you can't get close by boat because there's an awful whirlpool. But you can see it clearly from the cliff top. I could probably do a German impression, but I'd have to hear a German accent again. Haven't heard one in a while, and I would just do stereotype, like flamboyant German guy. Mayor of Rouge says, well, it suddenly came up, so you wouldn't have known about it. Hazel says, shall we try? Mayor of Rouge says, hope it's the one you folks want to go to. Yeah, me too. Gingling-gling. Scalpel. Keeping in mind, I stole that. So in Liar Liar, when he's Jim Carrey's character, Fletcher, he is talking to his son. He's like, oh, I got you a birthday present, but I accidentally swallowed it, and he has the present in his stomach. And his son is like, "Oh, Dad, you it's in your belly." And Fletcher is like, "Scarple." So I stole that. I'm not actually funny. I just steal everything else from funny people. If you want my advice on how to be funny, plagiarism. If anyone's sitting there like, "Oh, Randy, he's a funny guy. I wish I could be funny one day." How does he do it? Plagiarism. Just don't get caught. Steal only stuff that people wouldn't know. And then... That's exactly right. Without streaming... I'm streaming copyrighted material right now. Nobody would be watching this if I was just sitting here with no game. Well, maybe somebody would at this point. But the game brought you to the dance, and Randy kept you to the dance. Alright, what did I just pick up? That thing, don't care. Hopefully I don't have to. Thank you, Rashab. I don't actually feel like I steal everything. Only stuff I can get away with. Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking with that voice I was doing in that thing, but people seem to like it. I have no idea where I'm going. So there's that for you. Oh, wait. Where's Myrtle's room? Myrtle? Room implies man-made structure. Should probably be there. Also, aren't we all stealing words? We didn't invent these words. Oh yeah, the Nico voice. That was fun. That's one of my favorite streams I've done, was the GTA 4 stuff, because that was fun. How the heck am I supposed to get there? I don't know. War God's Calling sounds cool. Is that an item? Nope. Wait. Nope. Automatic addition, half damage and SP. That's not a bad thing, though. Maybe when we grind... we slap that on and put on full speed or something, or like, you know, because my PlayStation's got super fast speed. I've got the modded one, of course. Yeah. Martel says, Lil. I don't care about that. I just want to... There it is! Alright, there's only one more now, and we have to backtrack. I don't... we'll see if we can ever get there. That is nothing! Alright, so... I actually lost the thread. I was too busy distracted by something. I don't even remember what I was distracted by. Samsara! Good to see you again. You have a new... wait, it's an alt account, or did you change the name of your original account? because I can tell that you're all up in my interwebs. Martel says, did we meet before? Martel says, oh, now I remember. You are the folks who bumped into me a long time ago in Bale. Did you come all the way here for sightseeing? Sure did. No stakes at all. Martel says, then there is nothing you can see here. Dar says, the girl, is she sick? Martel says, yes, she won't be long. Doc says, jeepers, what in the world? That's freaking dark. Martel says, my daughter took ill a year ago, and since then she has been sleeping in pain. What I drank was not, in theory, hydrating. That was coffee. Martel says, my daughter took ill a year ago. I already read that. Samsara, how's life been going for you? I've been looking at your art. It's always impressive. If I don't always comment, it doesn't mean I haven't seen it. I always look at it. YouTube Premium is required as far as I'm concerned. It is unwatchable if you don't have it. Martel says, so I took a last-ditch gamble. Everyone dehydrate. Dar says, gamble? Martel says, have you heard of Stardust? I might get another coffee. Like, I don't know why that didn't scratch the itch. Miranda says, Stardust, isn't it the wish stone from the fairy tale? And if you collect them all, your dreams come true? Martel says, I guess it was only in the fairy tale. So this is the Stardust thing. Martel says, it was my last chance. Well, unfortunately, the game won't let me go back and get the last one I'm missing, so I guess she's dead. Marta says, are you folks still on your journey? Marta says, well, why don't you give me whatever Stardust you find? Martel says, of course I didn't say for free. I'll give you something rare that I found on my journey in return. What do you think? Not bad, huh? Marta says, you don't have to, but please. Oh, I'm sorry, Samsara. That's terrible. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry. I apologize for what sounds like me being callous here soon, because I'm going to have to continue to make jokes, but it is not... it is not meant in poor taste. I genuinely... I am genuinely sorry for your loss. Dart says, Martel here. Martel, comma here, as in here, Martel. What do I get? Let's see what we got. It's the rare thing I promised. Let me see it. Acquired physical ring. Well, okay. Amulet. War God sash. Acquired rainbow earrings. With this much, Lil's illness might be cured. Wait. Martel says, I beg you folks, save Lil from her illness. Lil says, I feel refreshed. I guess we don't need all of this, the Stardusts. Lil. Wait, where'd she go? Are they hugging? Looks like she disappeared. Lil says, Ma, I cannot breathe. Oh, okay. It's because her mother is strangling her. That's okay. Dara says, let's leave them alone. We should probably stop her mother from killing her, but that's okay. Yes, I'm sorry. If you need anything, let me know. Not much I can offer, but hopefully I can help you by saying words. Okay, now what? Oh, it's you folks. Liz become so much better, but if you find more Stardust, won't you give it to me? I guess it's the partiality of a parent. I want to wish for her so that she won't be sick anymore. Keep your eyes open, will you? Alright. Look, look, I'm so much better. Okay, well, we just got a whole bunch of stuff, so let's see what that does. Wow! Voids all abnormal status. That's pretty good. Raises SP 50%. Eh. Doubles maximum MP. That's alright. Raises maximum HP by 50%. That's not bad. Okay. Just need one more. Who knows if we'll ever get it. I genuinely don't remember what we're doing. Can someone tell me what we're supposed to be doing? There's like a stick in the water or something. Also, yeah, as Simsar, as I was saying, if I don't comment on your art, doesn't mean I'm not seeing it. I see everything you make, and it's always impressive. I actually got to the point where, like, I got tired of saying stuff because I was so jealous of your ability. I'm just like, you know what? He doesn't deserve any more praise because I don't have any talent. Yeah, I did get the Stardust here, yes. I'm gonna assume they want me to go this way. I feel like I wasn't really paying attention to the words I was reading. Yes, it's the final one in the game, but not the final one for Randy. Wait, that's the stick they were talking about? That's not a stick, you freaks. Stick is the understatement of the century. Holy mackerel, what the heck is that thing? Rachel says, there was no stick 20 years ago when I was here. That's not a stick! Stop calling it a stick! Miru says it's huge and more like a tower than a stick. Thank you, Miru. Or says this structure could never be made by human technology. I don't know, we've seen some pretty crazy stuff. Miranda says, Rose, do you know anything about it? You were there once, weren't you? Bear says, that's right. Rose is one of the Dragoons who liberated humans. Don't you remember anything? Yes, I remember a stick. Rose says, Charlie said the Signet Spheres remain in the Magic City Algus, the Death City Mayfill, and the Law City Xanabatos. Rose says, if I remember correctly, there was only the Magical City Aglis in this region of the sea. Rose says, Charlie must have made us come here because she thinks Zieg will go after the Signet Sphere of Aglis first. Miro says, Rose, a question please. What the heck is the Law City or whatever they call it? Miro asking all the appropriate questions. Albert says, I was thinking about that too. The Crystal Palace was called the Birth City too. Rose says, the Birth City Crystal Palace was a city where babies were selected to be born. Don't most cities have that, though? Dart cities, Dart says select babies? Rose says those with weak magic power weren't allowed to be born. Mira says that's awful. We have entered the village of child death, apparently. Rose says, and the Death City Mayfield was where the souls of the dead were sent to an infernal world. Miranda says, Winglies in the past had even their destination after death decided for them. Rose says, do you want to know anything else? Oh my god. Forbidden Lands, Rose says it was the capital of the Wingley world dominated by Milbu Frama. It was the center of politics and the military. Albert says that's why it was so damaged. Miro says that's the reason why it is the Forbidden Land now. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Birth City something something. Rose says, I already told you, you are hopeless. Alright, yeah, we already heard that. Death City Mayfield. Don't make, City where the soul, okay. City where magic was studied, okay. Albert says it is astonishing that even though they had much more magic than now, they still studied it so deeply. Miru says it would never happen now. Heishel says you are carefree, Miru. Oh, Miru, your carefree spirit. Xanabatos. It doesn't sound conceited at all. I'm glad I mean it when I say it. It's good stuff. I think... Well, I mean, it's tough right now for art in general. Like, just period. Fortunately, like... I should just double down on this. This is not AI. Unless it is. You've all been fooled. Hazel says, you really know this stuff. Rose says, if it is Aglis, how can we approach it? We swim! Rose says, we gotta hurry or Zeeg will get there first. You mean Zeegi, of course. Dar says, well, we cannot go by boat. We gotta find some other way. Well, I guess we've done all we can do. That's the end. Beep. Beep. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 16 minutes, and I feel like nothing of consequence has happened. Mirror Room, Aglis the Magical City. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was very confused for a second. This is Jeff R's, like, thing. This is where he discovers Aladdin or whatever. Dar says, what's wrong, Rose? Rose says, we were being watched by somebody. Dart says, being watched? He says, what's going on? Mayor of Rouge says, the sea is splitting. Someone kill Moses. Dart says, let's go. Is this when, like, a weapon pops out of the sea and goes after Midgar? Aw, that's cool. Dar says, what is that? Dar says, the magical city Aglis revealed itself. Mayor of Rouge says, Hazel, is that what you were looking for? Hazel says, it seems like it. Thank God that it found us. Brandon says, now, we can go in before Zeeg. Dar says, let's go. It is a consequential stick, that is for darn sure. Wait. Are we just gonna... What are we... Okay. The boat, then? I don't know. You folks are gonna go out to see Boat Pop says, yeah, we're going. See ya, losers. Boat Pop says, don't you know what's going on? The sea's splitting, weird stuff up here. Dar says, that's why we are here. We are the Weird Stuff Police. We're on the case. Full speed ahead. Slow down, we're losing control. That says, oh my God, there's a road formed on the bottom of the sea. It's true. If we take a boat, we can walk from midway. Let's do it. What the heck is Queen Fury? Oh, that's... never mind. Dart says, there is no need to hesitate. Let's go to Aglis. Queen Fury sounds like a power metal band if I've ever heard one. Yeah, I'll hold you to that, Spartan. Sounds good to me. Everyone, it's right there, documented. Everyone remember. Spartan wants me to crucify him if he does not remind me of the final Stardust. Dar says, what's going on here? Mir says, magic. Somebody's supporting this with magic. Albert says, it seems we are invited. Dart says, it's convenient for us. Miranda says, we have no reason to say no. Rose says, this door is not locked either. Rose says, Dart, you go ahead and open it. Rose says, Zieg will come here to destroy the Signet Sphere. Rose says, you will have to finally settle things. So, I want you to open the first door. I should have saved it. This is like a really good time to stop. I don't want to stop necessarily, but if I get into something, I'm gonna have to stop at some point here soon. I probably should have talked to all those guys, but whatever. I don't like them very much anyway. It's fine. Where's the save point? Man, look at this stick. It's one big old stick. Here it says, this is the bottom of the sea. Here it says, what a great view. It's worth waiting along. Miranda says, don't forget we were invited by somebody. Otherwise, this will be the last view we see. What? Albert says, but it's incredible magic, creating this much space in the water. Stick magic. Rose says, this city originally was not in such a suffocating place. Rose says, all the Wingley cities used to float in the air, so it was easier to control the creatures below. And that's how it was until we shot them down. Dart says, with my dad. Yeah, there are probably plenty of things we could have done a lot easier if Miro just flew. Rose says, yes, Zieg and me and 5 of the other Dragoons together. Dart says, 11,000 years passed since then, and now we are here. Being here to protect... Dart says, 11,000 years passed since then, and now we are here. Being here to protect the Signet Sphere. It feels strange to me. Dart says, what's going on? Congo says, sea closed. What? Says nobody. Dart says, they don't want us to go back. They are playing hardball with us. Playing hardball with us. Yeah. That's a tiny dart down there. Save point for the love of God. Here comes Tentacle Dog. Art says, what's this? I just told you, it's a tentacle dog. Ruff says, Ruff has been in here forever. Ruff. I only knew the view and sound in here. Ruff. Miranda says, it doesn't seem to be harmful. Ruff says, it's rough, Ruff. Ruff doesn't want to say anything, but it's a message so that it's rough, Ruff. Welcome to the 7 heroes fated to be here, and Rose, these thousands of years I have waited were neither as long as eternity nor as short as a mere twinkle of the star. Holy crap. People who confront their fate with courage. Ruff says, I forgot the rest. I'm surprised you remembered that much. Ruff says, how do you know my name? Dart says, whose message is this? Ruff says, Ruff only knows what Ruff hears, Ruff. Ruff doesn't know anything else, Ruff. Miranda says, are you on Zieg's side? Answer me, or I'm gonna mess you up. Ruff says, mess you up? Ruff has never seen it and doesn't know, Ruff. Show it to Ruff. It should be some rough stuff, Ruff. Hey, Ruff, how would you describe that terrain over there? Smooth. Mira says, hey, Miranda, this baby didn't do anything. Mira says, sorry, we scared you. Oh, this baby's made by magic. Rose, by magic? Rose says, by quote-unquote magic, there wasn't even such technology during the Dragon campaign. Miro says, I am getting sleepy. You gotta believe this, because it's right in front of our eyes. But this baby's totally cute. Ruff says, Ruff is cute? Then you all are not cute, Ruff. But Rose is exception, Ruff. Rose says, if you are gonna treat me as an exception, why don't you take me to the Signet Sphere? Ruff says, it's your own challenge to go by yourself, Ruff. All is for the sake of the psychedelic bomb and moot. Ruff. Ruff is going, Ruff. It's Ruff, Ruff. Dart says, well, we gotta go anyway. None of that served the purpose. It doesn't open. Thank you. I needed that information. Can't carry any more items, rough. That's a rough situation, rough. Some rough stuff. Repeat, 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 repeat. Dump it! Burnout. Ugh. Don't tell me. Wow. Here, try this one on for size. The item limitation. I think I said these exact words. I'm pretty sure I said it even in that way the last stream. The inventory limitation thing sucks. Objectively bad. I hate it. Gushing magma. I love that though. I will definitely play some future games rough. Games in the future rough. Future in the future rough games rough will play rough. Some of them will be rough. This game's a little rough. Rough. Good for you, Silver Drop, going to the gym stuff. Rough. See ya, Silver Drop. Thank you for stopping by. Rough. Does it remind you of Final Fantasy IX Rough? This came out the same year as Final Fantasy IX, I believe. Magical hat. Hit. A Russian hit. Alright. Wait, that wasn't even where I had to go. No! This music is not rough. Rough.
Die. Demons die.
Yes, the year 2000. Magical attack barrier. Good thing. I will never use magical attack, so we're in luck. No, that was rough. Rough.
Die. Demons dance.
Demons dance. Yeah, I don't remember Final Fantasy IX that much. It's got to be on the list, and it's got to be pretty high, because I remember liking it a lot, but I've only played it once, and it was a long time ago. This is not a stupid question. It is not made by Squaresoft. You'd be... It is a perfectly appropriate question based on what this game is. What am I missing here? Gonna need a save point here shortly, though. It's just gonna have to happen.
Die. Demons dance.
Yeah, compete/copy Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. Go.
No! That was rough. Oh. Starts looking rough. Rough. That sucked. Rough.
Die. Demons dance.
I'm hoping to stream like most of this week. I'm gonna do my darndest too. So keep a lookout for tomorrow. I really want to get this game done. As much as I don't hate it, I also don't want it to consume my entire life.
Demon stance.
I still got to finish Parasite Eve, isn't that right, Tim? Remember that game? No one does. What game? I don't know what Parasite Eve is. I read that book. That was crazy. That was one of the craziest things I've ever done for a stream. Like, I'm just gonna read the novel. Yeah, everyone turn on their notifications for the Ran Man. And subscribe and follow and all that stuff. I don't know why. Before I stream, I'm like, you know what? Today's the day where I'm going to be comfortable with calls to action. And then I never am. Without fail, I'm always like, ooh, it's just weird asking people to do stuff. But really, this is I want to pick this back up, right? I want to start doing this as my thing again. So any support that you can provide would help a great deal. Including joining the Discord at tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. That is tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. And following, subscribing, giving me money, bits, all that stuff. Good stuff. I care less about the money and more about the people watching it thing, though. So, if you can watch it, if you can get people to watch it, that won't be rough. Make it as less rough. Yeah, Parasite Eve 2 is actually the one I'm interested in, because Parasite Eve 1 has promise, but it's pretty bare bones. Like the gameplay I don't love. Story's pretty cool though. The presentation's fantastic.
Die.
Parasite Eve is like a proof of concept. There's some good ideas there, but although I hear it sounds like they just ditched the ideas anyway. I poke you with my sword, also known as a stick, because we can use the word stick to describe literally any item.
Die. Demon stance.
I don't actually have X at all anymore, so Discord. And it's currently dead because I was laid off from my job. I then intended to make streaming like a full-time thing, which I did for a while, and that was good, and it was working out, everybody was happy. And then I ran out of money, so I had to look for a job, and I got a couple of jobs that didn't end up working out. No, that's not how I want to do it either. And so my wife and I decided that, like, okay, we're just going to stop looking for work right now because it's just not working out. And we've got a financial plan in place that we should be able to make that work. But in that, throughout, from when I stopped streaming to now, it got really kind of dead and inactive, but I need to get back on that. Sun Rhapsody. And we will. We'll make it work. Last week was rough though. It's tough when, you know, I intend to stream and then childcare prevents me from doing it. And I feel terrible when that happens. And it's tough to get momentum going when that happens. But we'll get there. We've done it before. We can get them back. But I would love it if I wasn't a full-time Legend of Dragoon streamer. So, we gotta finish this darn thing. Poopy!
Die. Demon stance.
Demon's Dance. Charging Spirit. He's charging his spirit. Rough.
Spinning King.
Spinning King.
Die. Demon's Dance.
This game did me a solid, though. If I ever run out of things to say, I can just say rough. I don't have to... I no longer have to think. I'll just say rough after every sentence. Okay. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are older. But my son, that is the factor that prevents me from streaming, is gonna turn 5 next month. Dart says, it's a magic creature again. Spino says, don't be mean, Pino. What? Spino? Spino? I'm gonna say Spino because that's funnier. Don't be mean, Pino. It's just a message, Pino. Rose says, give me a break. Is everything like this in here? Spino says, it's Rose, Pino. You are in the mirror, Rose, Pino. It's Rose who gets friends and is in the mirror, Pino. Rose says, stop speaking in riddles. If you have a message, just say it. Spino says, don't be mean, Pino. Savan said, Pino. Spino says, Cenabatos, which governs the rightful law, has lost its reason, and Mayfill, which governs over noble death, has been toyed with the devils from the infernal world. This city is no exception. My magic power is deteriorating and cannot prevent the invasion by monsters anymore. Spino says, my magic power is deteriorating and cannot prevent the invasion by monsters. Wait, what? I thought I hit the button and changed. Apparently not. Spino says, the only saving grace is this city's object. These words are really hard to say. I'm surprised I haven't gotten tongue-tied more often. These are some sentences, man. Spino says, the only saving grace is this city's objective is about to be completed. Spino says, you are the key. I have been waiting for you for thousands of years. Come, before he comes. Yes, that is... Everyone should come before he comes. You should come before them. Or they should come before you. Dart says, Savan, as if he knows everything. Rose says, we will find out. I've played some games with my younger and my middle child. They're not as into it as I am, though, so... Spinning Cane.
Die. Demon's Dance.
Demon's Dance. Meow. Pew. It's the longest stream I've done in a while. 2 hours and 38 minutes. 39 minutes. That's a good question. So when I say, so my middle son is 16, so what the heck is this? I want to talk to it. Decal says, oh my god. You stopped me, Cal. I'll introduce myself, Cal. I am Decal. Welcome to the city of Savan, Cal. Miro says, you look different from the others. Decal says, I just rolled around, Cal, and comfort Savan's heart, Cal. Dar says, who is that person? Decal says, that's a good question, Cal, but I think, Cal, you should go forward, Cal. Savan's fate will be decided soon, Cal. Miro says, is Savan the same as me? Decal says, the same Wingley, Cal, and Savan is a Wingley who has been observing through a mirror for thousands of years, Cal. Decal says, go, Cal. Decal says, so, go, Cal. Time is rolling on to the conclusion, Cal. Dart says, what is this? Pino says, the mirror that reflects the present has been watching you forever, Pino. For thousands of years watching you, Rose Pino. Rose says, what for? Pino says, don't be mean, Pino. Savan is the same as you, Rose Pino. The same as... Oh, frame rate got a little rough there. The same as all of you now, Pino. Come on. Legitimate PlayStation, you can handle this. Spino says Savannah's over there, Pino. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of awesome, actually. That's really cool. I'm glad they put in that detail. That was cool. No! Inventory? It would be a video game of the 90s if we had a fight where we, like a mirror match. But it's not. This game was released in 2000. Mirror matches are old.
Die. Demons down.
Yeah! If we do Ocarina of Time, we can get a mirror match going.
Die. Demons down.
Demon's Dance. Well, that does sound familiar. I feel like there is a game where there's like a doppelganger fight that copies your stats or something like that. Maybe I'm crazy. It does sound familiar, though. Dragon Age. Origins, fantastic game. It's not retro enough, though. It is disqualified. I say that as if I'm not going to stream the new Resident Evil game when it comes out, because I'm going to have to, because... Oh, no! Psionic X may or may not purchase it for me, and I feel obligated to when he does that. But it's like the one exception.
Die.
No, I had that one, you... You would lose to you with identical stats?
Die.
Man! Okay. I don't think a fight with me would exist, only because I'm so lazy that if they have the identical stats, they would... Then we just wouldn't... We would decide not to fight each other. It's like, you know... So it sounds like a lot of work. Is there a laziness stat in an RPG somewhere? None of these. I feel like if it's an item that I can use, it is inconsequential because I've got so much stuff. Exactly. Me and my doppelganger would be like, you know what? Let's settle our differences, of which there are very few, because we are identical. This might be the longest we've gone without a save point in a very long time. I would have saved it beforehand and stopped if I had known this was gonna be this way. Rose is kicking butt, though, by the way. Like, when I get her full thing off, she's killing stuff. I guess Albert is too. And Dart is there. Cheering him on. This game sucks. Alright. Oh, thank you, Rashab. It's not the longest stream I've ever done, but it's the longest. It might be the longest Dragoon stream. Maybe not. No, there was this one time where the people demanded I kept going. Savan says the time has come. The foreseen evil is approaching. Savan says, but my wish is now hereby accomplished after an eternity. There's a save point up there. I love it. Savan says, I am Savan. I am a Wingley fated to wait. Savan says, the signet sphere you are looking for is safe. It is protected by last Kraken. Dart says, you know everything. Savan says, I know that there is no time left as well. Rose says, who are you? What are you going to do? No. What are you going to make us do? Savan says, I survived the Dragon campaign and continued studying magic to reconstruct a Wingley world. Yes, even making myself ageless and immortal. I was just able to do that. Savan says, however, the world outside the mirror hasn't required me. The world of Wingleys is no longer desired. I, an immortal body with no purpose, 4,000 years of solitude deprived me of everything. Even the significance of life and the meaning of death. Savan says, but 7,000 years ago I was saved by Rose. I found the meaning of life in the black monster in the mirror. Rose, who now is confronting her fate. Savan says, I restarted my study for Rose, and its crystallization is this psychedelic bomb and moot. Savan says, we will stop the murderous deeds of Zeeg, who continues the plan of the creator by using the attacking spell, the psychedelic bomb. I can't believe it's called the psychedelic bomb. And with moot, which is a moot point, we will completely seal the moon that never sets. Rose says, that is the answer to the riddle. No wonder it takes several thousand years. Savan says, moot will be completed soon. But in order to activate the psychedelic bomb, I need the courage of all you. Why is courage in red? Rose says, our quote-unquote courage? No. Proper noun courage. Savan says, it seems that my courage alone is not enough. The psychedelic bomb didn't work. I guess I don't have any courage. Aw. Don't put yourself down, Savan. Mira says, that's not true. You have courage, Savan. See? Aishel says, yes, you have been fighting alone for thousands of years. Miranda says, now we are here with you. Albert says, yes, our intention is the same. Whew! Running out of breath. Savan says, you have to endure your own challenge, and we will pour the courage that is born from them into the psychedelic bomb and activate it. Savan says, when you are ready, come to me. I'm not ready. Time to save it. Time to save it. Time to save it. Time to suck. You cannot go Uck. That's what Buckle says, and he also says, I won't let you go till Savan's challenges are complete, Uck. Buckle says, Savan, okay, I skipped that one. Don't worry, Rick, it's all gone. We've got nothing. Are you ready? Do I have a choice? Like, I don't seem to have an option here. Yeah, it's either go back the way we came, which is to say, run to the sealed sea. Or tell him I want to roll. I guess I want to roll. Pick the option that says I want to roll. I want to roll. Lulu says, let me tell you, lots of the world's magic was created here. Why isn't Lulu saying Lou? Savan says, but the newborn magic is a mere hunk of materials. Without heart, the real power cannot be employed. Savan says, but we have here brave people who can remain just and have the heart to bring completion to the ultimate magic. Someone has the heart to bring me to completion, if you know what I'm saying. I've got no way to divert that away from the dirtiness. Is it? No, got nothing. Savan says, please ignite the psychedelic bomb with your courage. Now, proceed to the Chamber of Challenges. Save point for the love of God! No! What are you doing? It's right there! And Kongol's dead. Miranda's dead. Alright, I get it. Fast forward. I see where this is going. Why does it hurt? Miranda's the only one that emoted at all. Devon says, "You are the last. Please be here with me till the end." Lulu says, "At last, we're starting." No! Savant says, "No, this will be the end of my role. My fate of waiting as well." Yes! Thank you, everybody, for coming. Pretty good stream, I felt. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. If not, whatever. Make sure your notifications are on. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. And, of course, join the Discord, tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. That is tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Good night. Yeah.